Parms, 51 years old. Detectives linked the investigation. Multiple detectives involved over the last 2 weeks found enough probable cause to charge Mr. Parms with the first-degree murder of Ja'Derrius.
Cleared. Hundreds of dumpsters, hundreds of garbage cans, countless empty lots, countless buildings. Went in some places that are sketchy as you could imagine. Just looking for Ja'Derrius Minnieweather. And he's got a name. It's Ja'Derrius Minnieweather. Everybody needs to say it. That's part of Baton Rouge. Guys, we don't stop.
Most grown adults would have minded their business. Ja'Derrius Minnieweather was 15 years old, weighed less than 100 pounds, and he didn't. That choice cost him his life. And the man who killed him almost got away with it. Before we go any further, if you're new here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to Crime Files, and hit that bell icon so you never miss when we drop a new case. These stories deserve to be heard. Now let's get into it. Ja'Derrius was 15 years old, 5 feet tall, and weighed less than 100 pounds. But don't let that fool you. By all accounts, this kid had a big heart and an even bigger sense of responsibility. His grandmother, Joanna Brooks, described him as hardworking and incredibly close to his family. He had just started a city summer work program at Estruma High School in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He was excited about it. He was looking forward to his second paycheck. He was the kind of teenager who checked in with his parents and grandparents regularly. So much so that when he went quiet, his family knew immediately something was wrong. He lived in a part of Baton Rouge people in the area called Ghost Town. It's a tough neighborhood, and Ja'Derrius knew it. But it was home, and on the night of June 4th, 2026, he did what he always did. He hopped on a small red and black children's bike and rode over to visit a friend, a 16-year-old girl he had known for a long time, someone he trusted, someone he cared about. What he didn't know was that the situation he was about to walk into had been building for months, and the man at the center of it had been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Maurice Parms was 51 years old. He lived close by, and he had history: armed robbery, aggravated assault, prior charges for indecent behavior with juveniles, and computer-aided solicitation. This was not a man who had made one bad decision. This was a man with a pattern. And somehow, this man had worked his way into the life of a 16-year-old girl. The messages on her phone later told investigators everything. Parms had been texting her through an app called Text Now since September of 2025. He was sending her money through Cash App, taking her to stores, buying her things. He told her he couldn't wait until people could see what they had together. A 51-year-old man, a 16-year-old child, and Ja'Derrius found out. When Ja'Derrius arrived at his friend's house on Bradley Street that night, she wasn't home yet. She had been out with Parms, getting food, supposedly. And when they pulled up together in Parms' white 2014 GMC Sierra, Ja'Derrius was waiting. He saw it. He put together. And he said something. Witnesses later described what happened next. A very tall man and a much smaller person got into a confrontation. The tall man was beating the smaller person badly for several minutes. A soft voice kept begging him to stop, to leave them alone. The beating went on. Large bloodstains soaked into ground where it happened. That smaller person was Ja'Derrius, a boy who barely cleared 5 feet, standing up to a grown man twice his size because he thought someone he cared about needed protecting. After that, Parms left, and Ja'Derrius was never seen again. Now here is where this case gets even more disturbing, because what Parms did next shows you exactly the kind of person he is. He didn't panic. He didn't call for help. He went into full cleanup mode, and he was methodical about it. Surveillance cameras in the area caught everything. First, Parms is seen riding a small children's bike away from the scene, the same kind of bike Ja'Derrius had ridden there. He dragged a garbage can to the 3200 block of Conrad Street. Then he threw the bike into some bushes. Then he took off a black mask, a pair of gloves, and a T-shirt, and threw them all into separate garbage cans. When he pulled that mask off his face, detectives watching the footage recognized him immediately. But he wasn't done. He went back home. Then he got into his white truck, drove back to those garbage cans, and retrieved the mask, the gloves, and the shirt. He put them in his truck. Then he drove home and was seen on camera wiping down the outside of his vehicle with a rag. And here's the detail that tells you just how calculated this was. When investigators pulled his cell phone records, his phone never left his house during that entire window. He had deliberately left it behind, so it couldn't be tracked. This man planned this. He thought about it. He tried to erase every trace that Ja'Derrius Minnieweather had ever existed. Ja'Derrius was reported missing on June 6th, the day after he was last seen. His family knew immediately something was wrong, because this was a boy who never went quiet. His parents, his grandparents, he stayed in contact. So when June 5th passed and nobody heard from him, the alarm went off fast. What followed was weeks of searching that this community threw everything into. The United Cajun Navy showed up. Volunteers came out by the hundreds. They searched wooded areas, abandoned buildings, beneath bridges, along the river levee, wooded areas off US 61, and even a local landfill. They covered nearly 1,000 acres. An excavator was brought in, and a cement structure near the scene was removed during the search. The family never stopped. His cousins were out there every day. Bobby Minnieweather said it plainly. "We ain't stopping till we find you, till you come home, Ja'Derrius." On June 10th, while all this was happening, investigators quietly made their first move. They had gotten a search warrant for the 16-year-old girl's phone while looking into Ja'Derrius' disappearance. What they found on it led them straight to Parms. The Cash App payments, the text now messages, all of it. They arrested him that day on charges of indecent behavior with juveniles and computer-aided solicitation of a minor. He posted a $7,500 bond and walked out. At that point, police still hadn't publicly connected him to Ja'Derrius. But behind the scenes, they were building something much bigger. Then came June 20th. Officers executed a search warrant at Parms' home early that morning. Neighbors watched as a heavy police presence surrounded the property, which had a smashed front window boarded up. Cadaver dogs and sonar machines were deployed inside. What investigators found in and around that home, combined with all the surveillance footage and the phone data, was enough. A murder warrant was issued before the day was over. Parms was arrested and booked into East Baton Rouge Parish Prison on account of first-degree murder. He now faces that charge on top of the indecent behavior and solicitation charges he was already carrying. When asked about his whereabouts that night, Parms told detectives he had been at Bradley Street briefly and left without incident. He said he went straight home and didn't leave again until he went to work in the morning. The surveillance footage made him a liar in every direction. His own phone proved he left that night. The cameras showed him on that bike, disposing of that mask. The blood at the scene and in his truck confirmed what investigators already knew. And here's the part that should make every single one of us uncomfortable. Parms was a coach at Estruma High School, the same school where Ja'Derrius had just started his summer work program. This man was around children every single day. He had prior charges for this exact type of behavior and was still in a position where he had direct access to young people. That is not just a failure of one man. That is a failure of every system that was supposed to catch him before it got to this point. As of right now, Ja'Derrius Minnieweather's body has not been found. His family is still waiting. The search is still active. A suspect is in custody. But that mother, that grandmother, those cousins who are out there searching every single day, they don't have him back yet. And that is a weight no family should have to carry. Now I want you to sit with a few things before you go. Ja'Derrius was 15 years old. He weighed less than 100 pounds. And he went up against a 51-year-old man with a violent criminal history because he saw that man grooming his friend, and he refused to look the other way. What does it say about us as adults that a teenage boy had more courage in that moment than most grown people would? What does it say about the systems that were supposed to protect children, that a man with prior charges for this exact behavior was still coaching kids, still in those spaces, still untouchable until a 15-year-old boy paid the price for everyone who looked away before him? And what does it say about Maurice Parms that after killing a child, his first instinct was not remorse? It was a mask, a pair of gloves, and a rag wiping down a truck. Ja'Derrius didn't just deserve better that night. He deserved to live. He deserved to get that second paycheck. He deserved to go home to his grandmother. If this case moved you, please like this video, subscribe to Crime Files, and hit that bell icon right now. Every share, every comment, Every new subscriber keeps cases like this in front of people who need to hear them. Don't let Ja'Derrius be forgotten. We will see you on the next one.